Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Dr. Shujita Verma and today I'm going to discuss a new topic, that is phylogenetic tree. So basically I'm going to tell you about what is phylogenetic tree and what is the difference between rooted phylogenetic tree and non-rooted phylogenetic tree, right? So let's get started. Phylogenetic tree. Now phylogenetic tree is basically a tree that has a set of organisms or a species, and this is a tree of life, right? So we are here studying the phylogeny of different organisms, right? So why it is called tree? Basically it is a diagram only, right? So in a very simple terms, if you want to understand the basic principle, is that it is just a simple diagram, just like any other diagram we draw in biology. Why do we call it as tree? There is a reason we call it as tree, because it shows the evolutionary pathways, right? Just because it is related to evolution, that is the reason it is being regarded as a tree, right? Otherwise it is just like any other simple diagram. So phylogenetic tree, it is a diagram that depicts the evolution, number one thing, evolution, or we can say the evolutionary pathways of different organisms, as well as it depicts the closeness, it depicts the connection among the different organisms. Connections भी बताता है और evolutionary pathway भी बताता है. This is about phylogenetic tree. Now I'm going to tell you about the rooted phylogenetic tree and an unrooted. This is a rooted phylogenetic tree. Now basically if you will compare these two diagrams or these two trees, then you will see that this Z point is the origin. This is the origin. This is the origin of this tree. But consider this diagram. Can you find any origin? No. A, B, C and D. Can you tell which one is the origin? No, you cannot tell. So this diagram, this tree has an origin. So we call it as root. Root. We call it as root. Hence the name rooted phylogenetic tree. Then this diagram, it does not have any root, so it is known as unrooted. But why is the root present over here? Why is the root present over here? I'm going to talk about these afterwards. First, let's consider about the main point, the root. Now, this is the origin from where the life has started. This is the origin from where the life has started. This is the ancestor. This is the ancestor, right? Here, we don't know. There is no root. So, there is no ancestor present over here. We don't know who is the actual ancestor over here. But here, this root, it depicts the ancestor. From here, the organisms are being diverging. Different species are being diverged. So this is a common point, Z. This is the common point. This is the common ancestor. And from there, here, there is a divergence of different forms of life of different species. Now, if we talk about the three domains of life, bacteria, archaea and eukarya, right? So the three domains of life, bacteria, eukarya and archaea, are all have depicted from one common origin. And that common origin and that common ancestor is what is called as root in the phylogenetic tree. So in the rooted phylogenetic tree, what we have one ancestor and then the evolutionary pathways. But in case of unrooted phylogenetic tree, we have only connections. How A is connected to C, how B is connected to D, right? So we have only connections. What we can study in unrooted phylogenetic tree are the connections among various different species, various organisms. It will only give the connection, closeness or the relatedness, what we say, right? But in case of rooted phylogenetic tree, we have the ancestor as well. We can see, we can study that from where the different organisms have diverged. Or if we want to go back, then we can also go back to the common ancestor. These are the present day species. Supposedly consider that these are the present day species, C, D, E and F, right? And Z is the ancestral species. Okay. So either we can go from this side to this side, or we can go backwards also. We can study from F to Z as well, right? So this is how, this is a major difference, that rooted have the origin, the ancestor, and you can study the evolution as well as the ancestral species as well as the relatedness. But in terms of unrooted, you can only study the closeness, right?